Yeah, Brother Coroner, you there?
Yes, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, great, man. Can't complain, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the time for this, man. We just really want to go ahead and get started with this. This is Yasharahlayim, and like I say, this is my brother. Do you want to give an introduction to yourself or what, man? Cause
my name is Roderick Carter. I'm not really anybody. I'm not like a professor or nothing like that. But I'm heavily into the scripture and into researching the meanings of words and finding out what the scriptures really mean in their own language.
well, let's go ahead. Hey, brother, that's great. Now let's go ahead and just cut right into it, if you don't mind. I'd like you to do us a service, man, and tell us what you know about the topic of leprosy. Take all the time you need, brother.
Okay. Well, what it says I'm going to start off with 2 Kings 5 and 22. I'm sorry, 5 and 27. And the verse says, "The leprosy, therefore, of man shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow." I'm reading this from the King James Version Bible. All right. I'm also going to go into what's called Leviticus chapter 13, which gives us the diagnostic criteria for leprosy. I'm just going to sort of read this a little bit. If you, at any point you have any questions, feel free to stop me. And it says,
much appreciated.
13 and 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, "When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising a scab or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall he be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof not be turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that hath the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, that means if it came to a still, or if it hasn't changed, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he hath been seen of the priest for his cleansing, for he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest shall see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. When the plague of a leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it hath turned the hair white, and now notice it says, and it turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising. So if there be raw flesh, so raw would be like a pinkish colored flesh. It is an old leprosy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh man, I was just laughing, man. It almost sounds it sounds like they're definitely giving a real description and the origin of these people, identity to these people that look nothing like us. I was just laughing, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are correct. It goes on. Actually, it goes on to even give a more thorough description. And it says here, verse 11, "It is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that hath the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, Then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague. It is all turned white. He is clean. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague, he is clean. So now it's saying what the unclean version of leprosy. There's a clean and unclean form of it. The unclean form is that transitioning factor, that factor where you have the patches, or in other words, this disease is vitiligo. That's really what it's talking about. When a person's skin changes from being black, so it's described raw skin. You ever have like a friction burn from like maybe say you fell on the ground or something and rubbed your skin hella rough, and what you have left is like a pink spot.
Oh man, that's like a Indian burn or a carpet burn.
Yeah, like a carpet burn. Yeah, it turns the skin pink. That pinkness is rawness. That's a rawness on the flesh, and so basically that almost kind of looks like a burn too. And that's kind of what's being described here. It's that splotchy appearance, but when right at the point where you're losing your melanin.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Melanin.
So they're saying that while you're in that transition, because there's certain laws about not having two opposites together in one thing, it's considered unclean. But they're not considered clean until they are either one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference between a clean leper and an unclean leper. So a person can be considered clean, yet still have leprosy.
That's some deep stuff, man.
Yeah. I'm going to continue on verse 18. It says, the flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof, was a boil and is healed. And in the place of the boil, there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, and it be shewed to the priest. And when the priest seeth it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white. The priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, but somewhat dark, and the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stay in its place and spread not, it is a burning boil. So they compared it to a burn right there. And the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just laughing, man. I'm just laughing, brother.
Okay.
Please continue.
I'm sorry, lost my place real quick. All right, but if the bright spot stay in its place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. For if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in its place, stay in its place, and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning. And the priest shall pronounce him clean. So it is an inflammation of the burning. If upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, now here's the kicker right here, and and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scale, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest look on the plague of the scale, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that hath the plague and the scale 7 days. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scale spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the sight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, but the scale shall not be shaved. And the priest shall shut up him that hath the scale 7 days more. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the scale, and behold, if the scale be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean.